Tell me the news.
Here's the latest news from NBC Nightly News at 7:40 p.m. today.
Tonight, rhetoric and reality, a change in tone, but President Trump sticks to hardline stances. Now the hard part, can he sell it? Signs of trouble ahead, and not just from Democrats. Also amazing strength from the widow of an American hero, the moment that brought so many to tears as questions persist about the mission the president approved. Record surge on Wall Street, how long will it last? Plus your retirement money, why so many are about to start withdrawing. Violent outbreak, tornadoes carving a deadly path of destruction, a threat across 20 states, over 100 million at risk. Uber meltdown, caught on camera, and it's not just any passenger, it's Uber's CEO in a heated argument with a driver. And inspiring America, sisters overcoming life's hurdles, chasing their Olympic dreams. Nightly News begins right now.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Good evening. It was the unexpected calm after a stormy 5 weeks. President Trump's softer and more measured tone in his address to Congress last night was the most immediate and surprising takeaway of the evening, earning him his due even among some critics. But today, as the focus recentered on the message itself, it became clear the Trump agenda has not softened, setting up potential showdowns with not just Democrats, but from within the president's own party, as he pivots to the hard work of turning his ideals into laws. White House correspondent Kristen Welker starts our coverage.
Tonight, President Trump shifting his focus to the road ahead after laying out big policy goals last night.
The time for small thinking is over.
The president praised for striking a more positive tone. The challenge now, turning rhetoric into reality. Today, the president met with Republican leaders at a strategy lunch at the White House. Top of the agenda, health care.
I am also calling on this Congress to repeal and replace Obamacare.
A Republican official tells NBC News the president plans to personally pitch reluctant lawmakers, including many in his own party, even aiming to sell them on tax credits as a way to pay for some coverage. Voters across America tell our Kevin Tibbles they're worried deep divisions could block reform.
That still looked like a house divided to me.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Does that depress you?
Doesn't really depress me. It's expected.
Another key priority, overhauling the tax code.
My economic team is developing historic tax reform.
While there is broad support for simplifying the tax code, there's also opposition. Even some Republicans worried if the government cuts taxes, there won't be enough money to pay for other priorities.
Where's he going to find the money for all that?
That's a real good question. I don't think he's a magician. There's got to be some cut somewhere.
And tonight, more on the president's signature issue.
I believe that real and positive immigration reform is possible.
While Mr. Trump hasn't said what a reform package should look like, for the first time he called for a merit-based system, meaning immigrants are selected based on their skills. Lawmakers stress the steep odds.
I don't think we're going to be able to do it comprehensively.
Vice President Pence telling Lester they plan to take the issue to the people.
He's a fighter, and when it comes time to making his case to the American people and fighting for what he believes in, he brings that case and he brings it strong.
Americans still divided.
I liked every word he said.
I don't want a country that deports 11 million peaceful, law-abiding citizens. That's not my America.
The president was expected to sign an executive order banning travel from some predominantly Muslim countries today after the first version was blocked in court, but now that's been delayed. Lester.
Kristen Welker tonight, thank you. Of course, the big emotional moment last night came when President Trump honored the widow of the first U.S. service member killed during a mission under his watch, that January raid against al-Qaeda in Yemen. The president saying the raid yielded vital intelligence, but several U.S. officials are contradicting that assessment to NBC News. We get more from our senior investigative correspondent, Cynthia McFadden.
We are blessed to be joined tonight by Corinne Owens.
It was the most poignant moment in the president's speech last night, introducing the grieving widow of Navy SEAL Ryan Owens.
Ryan died as he lived, a warrior and a hero, battling against terrorism and securing our nation. I just spoke to our great General Mattis just now, who reconfirmed that, and I quote, Ryan was a part of a highly successful raid that generated large amounts of vital intelligence that will lead to many more victories in the future against our enemy.
Karen Owens greeted with extended applause. But behind that powerful moment, still many questions about the mission itself. While the president says Secretary Mattis has assured him the raid was a success, 10 senior officials across the government who are familiar with the details of the raid tell NBC News so far no valuable intelligence has been produced. Vice President Pence responding to our reporting this morning on CBS.
That is wrong. There was significant intelligence that was gathered that will lead to American success.
But tonight, multiple officials tell NBC News while there is a 3-page inventory of captured material, none of it, at least not yet, could be labeled valuable, vital, or actionable.
It's too soon to determine exactly what information was gotten on this raid. Invariably, the military does a thorough investigation of everything from start to finish, and in good time we'll hear how successful it really was.
Last night's emotional moment comes days after Owen's father raised his own questions about the mission. What is undeniable is that Ryan Owens died in defense of his country.
We will never forget Ryan.
Cynthia McFadden, NBC News, New York.
Again last night, the president promised to spend $1 trillion on repairing the nation's crumbling infrastructure. The need is urgent, and some Democrats say they're all for it. But how will the country pay for it? We sent NBC's Tom Costello to Cincinnati for a reality check.
In the American heartland, an infrastructure emergency.
Busy at the bridge, South 71 through the tunnel, much busier as well.
The Brent Spence Bridge in Cincinnati carries double the 80,000 vehicles it was designed for in 1963. Today, concrete from the upper level falls to the deck below.
When you see that kind of rust, is that a warning sign?
It is a warning sign for something that's going to come later.
Chief Engineer Bob Yeager says the only solution is to build a second bridge right next to it.
If you're going to go from Michigan to Florida, you're going to travel this bridge.
It's a national problem. 1 in 9 bridges deemed structurally deficient. And engineers give the country's entire infrastructure a D+. On Tuesday, a huge sinkhole in New Jersey swallowed up an SUV. Last month, 200,000 people in California forced from their homes with the Oroville Dam in danger of breaching.
The hope is that big projects like this one will bring not only much-needed improvements, but also jobs, taking a page from the Depression-era jobs program of the 1930s.
Like the welding jobs at bridge builder Veritas Steel.
It would mean job security for me. It would mean I could put food on the table for my family.
The question, how to cover the $1 trillion price tag. President Trump has suggested a mix of public and private sector investment. But it could be a hard sell for fiscal conservatives in his own party, with the White House also suggesting tax cuts.
If you add to that a large infrastructure effort as well, that could really balloon the deficit.
But as Americans tonight drive home across 55,000 crumbling bridges, the question is how soon a fix may be coming. Tom Costello, NBC News, Cincinnati.
On Wall Street today, another record close. The Dow finishing above 21,000 for the first time. It has been a historic run. A lot of people wondering what lies ahead for their investments and retirement money. We want to bring in our business correspondent, Ali Velshi. Ali, break it down. What's behind this surge, and can it last?
Well, first of all, we do have to call it a Trump rally. The Dow is now up 15% from its close on Election Day. Markets are liking what they're hearing from this president. In particular, driving today's rally is what President Trump reiterated last night about reducing regulation, infrastructure, as Tom was talking about, and most importantly, cutting corporate taxes. Now, that's really the biggest driver here, but it can also be the undoing of the rally if the administration cannot get the taxes as low as they want to. Now, some investors should be careful with this. Markets are nimble. They can change direction very quickly. And remember that the stock market is not the economy. There are better indicators: unemployment, wage growth, consumer confidence. They are all doing well, but the stock market is running like a 6-cylinder engine running with 12 cylinders going right now. And when it comes to who benefits from this, keep in mind, about half of all Americans don't own stocks. They don't benefit from it directly. This rally is quite a ride, as long as you could have afforded to buy a ticket for it.
All right, Ali Velshi, thank you. Now to a massive outbreak of severe storms across a huge part of the country. Tornadoes carving a deadly path of destruction, part of a system that has put over 100 million people at risk today. 20 states in all. NBC's Blake McCoy is in the storm zone.
The stunning view from above tonight revealing the path of destruction. At least 3 people are dead after fast-moving storms plowed through the Midwest.
Near mile marker 199.
Dangerous twisters.
Okay.
Tearing across Illinois.
That's freaking crazy.
In the small town of Naplate, howling winds splintered this neighborhood.
It was like the finger of God. It was just wiping the slate clean. This isn't a devastation anybody should go through.
A home ripped off the foundation.
In Missouri, a tornado near Perryville ripped apart homes for 13 miles.
You can see those cars tossed about.
And flung cars off the interstate. The powerful line of storms raced east today. Winds gusting to 60 miles an hour. 104 million people in its path. Hail pounding parts of Alabama. The relentless wind and rain toppling trees in Tennessee. This little boy surviving after one split his living room in half.
And we heard a bang, and that's when the tree came in and hit us.
The storms tipping this trailer in Kentucky. Today, communities are flooded around Columbus, Ohio, after fierce storms there. Back in Illinois, Melissa DeTore says she rode out the tornado in her bathtub.
I just hunched over my dog and just prayed that we didn't die that day. And we didn't.
She's thankful their lives were spared when so much else wasn't.
This is what's left of Melissa's block. Remarkably, everyone here survived. Many of these families are being helped by the Red Cross tonight. And we've just learned the tornado here was an impressive EF3, packing winds of up to 165 miles per hour. Lester?
Blake McCoy in Illinois tonight. Thank you. Now to a video gone viral showing the CEO of Uber getting into a heated argument with an Uber driver over the company's changing rates. The heated confrontation took place during a weekend ride. It's yet another embarrassing incident for the company. And NBC's Miguel Almaguer has the tape.
There it is. The controversial Uber CEO was in an Uber when the confrontation began.
I lost $97,000 because of you. I bankrupt because of you.
Travis Kalanick was in an Uber Black, his company's high-end car service, when driver Fauzi Kamal criticized the Uber founder for slashing prices and the income of drivers.
You dropped the prices
on Black.
Yes, you did. We started with $20.
The heated exchange ends when Kalanick leaves the car.
You know what? What?
Some people don't like to take responsibility for their... The dash cam video went public and the CEO apologized. To say that I am ashamed is an extreme understatement. It's clear this video is a reflection of me. I must fundamentally change as a leader and grow up.
Problems like this will certainly sink a company's leadership. He's taking responsibility. He's showing he needs to address a problem. So it isn't just blaming himself. He's actually saying, I'm going to develop a plan.
For Uber, it's yet another high-profile problem. The company is investigating a sexual harassment claim made in a blog post by a former engineer. In January, some 200,000 deleted their accounts in protest after the company failed to participate in a taxi strike during the president's refugee ban. Now another bump in the road for a ride-sharing service under fire. Miguel Almaguer, NBC News, Los Angeles.
In Los Angeles today, a wild and dangerous police chase through the streets. For more than 3 hours, a carjacking suspect led police on a slow-speed pursuit. At one point, a police car rammed the suspect's vehicle, causing it to spin out. But then he threw it into reverse to continue his getaway attempt. Eventually, police stopped and surrounded the car. The suspect surrendered after a tense standoff. Still ahead, your retirement. This year is triggering a wave of baby boomers to crack open their 401ks. But don't tap into your savings until you hear this crucial advice. We're back now with an alert for the millions of baby boomers tapping into their 401ks for the first time this year. They are the first generation to plan their retirements with 401ks. But there's so much you need to know before touching those funds. And what if you need the cash now? NBC business correspondent Jolene Kent has some vital answers.
For Rich and Gail Sweda, retirement can't come soon enough.
We work hard, we've raised our family, and retirement is now our time.
I'm very happy with it. The baby boomer couple in their 60s has been diligently putting away money in their 401k for nearly 25 years.
I think we're in a really good position.
They're part of the first generation to plan their retirements around 401ks. As boomers turn 70 and a half, they're required to start withdrawing their money.
Retirement accounts are essentially set up by the U.S. government to give you a tax break of sorts. At some point, the government would like you to actually start to withdraw that income from those accounts.
Because you'll pay tax on those withdrawals, experts say it's important to know your options. Find out how much your first required withdrawal should be from your 401k provider. Calculate your tax rate. Consider putting it in an investment account to grow the cash further. But more than half of American households are at risk of running low on money during retirement. And some people need their 401k money before they retire. If you do, there is a little-known IRS exception, Section 72T. It allows limited penalty-free withdrawals from your 401k at any age for at least 5 consecutive years. Withdrawals are still taxed, but you won't get hit with the 10% penalty. The Swedas have worked hard to build a nest egg.
The best thing to do is have it drawn out of your salary right away. Don't let it go through your hands, because if you don't see it, you don't have it to spend, and you really don't feel it.
Saving early for life's biggest rewards down the road. Jolene Kent, NBC News, Vacaville, California.
We're back in a moment with another billionaire who's flirting with the idea of running for the White House. The earliest evidence of life on Earth may have just been discovered. Rocks found in northeastern Canada contain little red tubes that may come from ancient microbes, which would make them the world's oldest fossils, nearly 4 billion years old. That's about 300 million years older than the previous oldest fossil title holder. And Oprah for president, the billionaire queen of talk, revealed in a newly released interview with Bloomberg TV that President Trump's victory has her rethinking whether she too could be elected president. Take a listen.
Oh, gee, I don't have the experience. I don't know enough. I don't know. And now I'm thinking, oh.
All right. Oprah has previously said she didn't have the government experience necessary to do the job, but now she's starting to think differently. When we come back, a triple threat on the track, the trio of sisters whose talents landed them on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Finally tonight, 3 sisters living life in the fast lane. They're a phenomenon in the world of track and field with dreams of Olympic glory. And as our Kristen Dahlgren tells us, they're not letting life's obstacles slow them down one bit.
On the track, it's easy to see the Shepherd sisters are special. 12-year-old Ty taking hurdles, 11-year-old Rain running distance, and 9-year-old Brooke besting the high jump. All junior Olympians who found almost instant success when a babysitter signed them up for a track meet on a whim.
Do you guys think that running is going to change your life?
Yes.
Yes.
But to truly appreciate the Shepherds, you have to know where they're running from. A Brooklyn homeless shelter.
We make the best of it by cleaning it a lot.
They've been there since 2015 after a half-brother was killed and Mom Tanya fell on hard times.
It was something that I never thought would happen.
All 4 share one bed. To get to a recent track meet, they took 2 buses and a subway. Sports Illustrated recently named them Sports Kids of the Year.
I really do want to be another greatest Olympian of all time, like Michael Phelps.
We want them to run through the high school years and perhaps get an athletic scholarship.
What do you guys want to be when you grow up? There's lots of things. I could be a lawyer, or I want to be a lawyer and a judge. I actually want to be a math teacher or a judge.
They have hopes, and that's what this track team has done for them, give them hope.
Because for them, it's not about where they rest their heads.
Things like this kind of sets you up for the real world.
But where their feet take them.
Track gives us hope and strength to move on from our problems.
A trio to watch, no matter where they live. Kristen Dahlgren, NBC News, New York.
And we'll be watching them. That's going to do it for us on this Wednesday night. I'm Lester Holt. For all of us at NBC News, thank you for watching, and good night.
From CBS Newscast at 4:06 p.m. today. From ABC News Radio Hourly Newscast at 11:03 p.m. today. From NPR Health and Science Podcast at 3:31 p.m. today. From CBS Evening News at 8:18 p.m. yesterday. From ABC News Nightline at 4:37 a.m. today. From WSJ What's News at 11:30 p.m. today. From CNN News Briefing at 4 p.m. today. From Times the Brief at 6:11 a.m. today. From PBS NewsHour at 7:07 p.m. today. From BBC Global News at 6 p.m. today. From BBC Minute at 11 p.m. today. From BBC News Summary at 11:07 p.m. today. From NPR World at 4:07 p.m. today. From 90 Seconds with Slate at 10:42 a.m. today. From Pop Sugar, Now You Know at 2:25 p.m. on February 3rd. From Mashable Entertainment, Spoken Edition at 7:17 a.m. yesterday. From the Washington Post Politics Brief at 5:17 p.m. today. From PBS NewsHour Politics at 5:50 p.m. today. From NPR Politics at 5:09 p.m. today. That's all for now.
Stop.